Welcome to the Dastardly Dingoes podcast, a show that celebrates all things nerdy. You'll get an insider's look into the world of comic books, graphic novels, TV and film, gaming and pop culture, as well as the technologies that drive all of it. Now, are you ready to get nerdy? Welcome to the Dastardly Dingoes podcast, the show about all things nerdy. We discuss nerd news, movies, TV shows, games, comics, and so much more. I'm Brian.
Hi, guys. I'm Chad.
Brian.
Wonderful.
I'm Damien.
I'm Chad.
Embrace yourselves.
Jab.
Because we're about to get nerdy. All right, folks. So, this is the season finale. This closes our season
Of what?
of the show
Cheers.
that we're on. What's wrong with
All right.
you? Of the Dastardly Dingoes podcast. And as you can tell, we actually have somebody that hasn't been here in a while. Look at him. Look at the
Hello.
little guy in the corner there that's bearded. Look at his
In
face.
Basement.
In his
They-
basement. Look at him.
It was a contract holdout.
Yeah, it was. We were like, if you don't show
Writer
up,
strike.
we get to do terrible things to you. But anyway, this is the episode where we will be talking about our favorites of this season. We'll be talking about what we're doing next season, and you guys in the comments section get to discuss these topics with us. We're inviting you into the conversation. So I can't believe it's already almost May.
Yeah.
I know Carl Witzman's in the comments section going, what season finale? They do that on the interwebs, and they do sometimes. We are doing it because we like to take breaks. And we also like our summers. This summer, I think we might be doing some special things together as a group. Let your
I like
imagination
special
run with
things
that.
together.
But anyway, can you guys believe it's already like summertime almost?
I know. The
this is
pollinating
crazy.
is in full effect
It's heavy.
here
it's
in
heavy.
Louisville.
On my soul. It is. I love it. I love the temperature, but my lungs are like, why? Why? So
Yeah, I've never had.
Damien and I work together at the day job, and we were talking about how it feels like a tractor trailer is just parked upon our face.
I spent 2 years inside. I went out in the world, and now I'm dying.
Yeah.
Mm.
He's like, look at this wonderful place.
Really was.
Yeah. So before we get started, I do want to go around the room and remind everybody who we are and tell them, why we're so wonderful. Jeremy, why don't you start us off there?
Don't start me
Buckaroo.
off. No,
I'm
go to
doing it.
somebody
There you
else.
go. If
I'm
I could
just
get in
sitting-
closer
let me
to your
sit here.
face, I would.
Okay, I'm Jeremy. I make videos in my basement, and you can find my stuff at jeremywoodring.com. Also, go to thesilencecomics.com and buy.
Thank you.
Chad's
Yes, go there.
Stuff.
Absolutely.
Or you could go Kickstarter
100%.
and do
Dot
something
com.
that
I'm
you.
going to get to you here in just a
//
minute. okay?
Well,
Shut
no,
it.
this
Brian
man's
made
video-
a comic.
This man's
biz.
video is on my
No,
Kickstarter
that was a
page
little
right now.
underhanded.
Yeah, if you
Underhanded way
want
to
a
promote
great
yourself.
example of the video that I made for Brian, go to bit.ly/mighthead. Did I do that right?
You did a great.
Did I marketing?
Yeah, you did marketing well.
You did
Well
the
done.
marketing.
All right, the Damien.
Hi.
Where's your beard?
I sold it.
You make me sad.
Buy
I-
Funko Pops.
I did. I haven't.
We'll buy Funko Pops for hair. Oh gosh.
No, I love my wife, and she wanted to see me shaved, so I shaved.
There it is. There you go. There you have it.
I
All
have
right,
to
who
leave-
are you and why are you good?
Why am I? Well, never mind. My name is Damien. My name's Damien Walburn. Actually, I make comics and toys and Realmer X and some guy with angels in his book. I did some toys for him. I mean, it's pretty good.
Where's your little QRF
You're
code? or
so
whatever it's
bad.
called?
Oh, wait, hold on.
So bad. No, it's too late now.
Too
No,
late
there it is,
now.
Chadwick.
No.
Too late now.
Too late
My
now,
name is-
Damien.
Jeremy Woodring, and I live in my basement like a creepy sociopath. and I make videos for people. And I also draw a comic book about
What?
asthmatics, and I like to make toys, like little Barbie toys.
Like
My
little Barbie.
3D printer, and I love the silence. It's really cool. That's
I
it.
don't like him.
I have
That
no
should
words.
be my moment right there. That was it.
It should be. That should be. I'm Brian Rodman. And right now, folks, you can go to this web address, bit.ly/Mighthead, and that will take you to the Kickstarter campaign of issue 2 of the Nebulizer. That's right. Issue 1 is already here, and you can purchase that as well on the campaign. On the Kickstarter campaign. We're a little more than halfway there. We just now today got a project that we love from Kickstarter. So that's pretty awesome. And yes,
That is
if you
awesome.
go there, play the video, watch it, and drool in awe at the talent that is Jeremy Woodring. He put that together. It's fantastic. It's the best one he's done for us. And I really can't recommend him any more than that. He's does a great job. He's great to work with. And, you might actually, if he laughs, then he's not going to kill you at the end. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Or if he laughs too much, he might kill you in the end. I don't know. You can go to BrianRodman.com, and there you can find the link to the Kickstarter. You can find the link to all my shenanigans on social media. And you can also find a link to this show, which we're in the season finale of. So let's get this thing going. But before we do this, let's have a very special moment before we jump into the comments section. A very special moment that we all like to call
I'd like to share with you something that is quite life-changing. Pandas poop most of what they eat. Pandas basically eat only bamboo, which happens to be incredibly hard to digest. That means these adorable animals must eat about 30 pounds of the stuff each day to get enough nutrients, defecating about 4/5 of what they eat. These guys should really consider a change in their diet.
This has been Dear God, help us. All right, so let's jump into the comments section, and please, fellow people in the audience, save us from that. Carl saying hello to Ted. Donna Carlene says, hangs up on sister so she can listen.
Perfect.
That's what we like. We like
want
you
you
to hang
to
up on
ignore
your
your
family.
family.
To come and spend some time with us. Then she also says, hey, Ted. Sarah says, holy crap! I completely forgot this was on right now. I got engrossed in a Joe Hill graphic novel. Great choice, but right now we're better. So
better choice.
Glad you're here.
Yes,
excellent choice. Ted says, how's it going, everybody? It's going great, Ted. How are you? Carl says, hey, Sarah. And there he is, the flagship master, Brian K. Morris, the Rising Tide. Greetings, one and all. So who takes breaks from broadcasting? What's that like? Well, it's actually kind of refreshing, sir. But it also frees up an evening for clever title pending. Perhaps. Maybe. Maybe. Carl Witzman says, we all stayed indoors. We wore masks. How did the flu survive? It's from hell. That's how it survived. Sarah says, hello, winky face. Donna Carlene says, my brain has been corrupted by my comic creative friends. You're welcome. I just suggested my sis make superhero minions to sell Doctor Strange and Superman at least. That's a great idea. I think that's a lot of fun, actually. Well done, Donna. Carl says, holy moly, a barefaced Damien. We can barely contain it ourselves, and we honestly don't know how we feel about it. Donna Carlene says, that's our Damien? Thud. You've killed her. Way to go. Way to go.
I'm a beautiful man.
Oh dear.
Beautiful.
Marks Damien off her to-do list.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the punishment you get. That's what you deserve,
Yikes.
sir. Look what you've done. Look what you've done.
I'm better.
You should be ashamed. Brian K. Moore says, and who knows where else Damien shaved to make his wife happy?
Oh.
He does.
She does.
I feel dirty.
We're not
right
going to
now.
touch that. Carl Whitman
Sure.
says, if Donna asked me to shave, I'd check the basement for pots. And the Eric Hawkins, who
No
is my
good thing.
Kickstarter buddy right now. He is in the middle of his campaign for Zombie World of Oz issue 4. So be sure to head to Kickstarter and check that out. I am a proud owner of the first 3 right here, Zombie World of Oz. My goodness, the story's great. Be sure to go check it out, and you can even buy the trade paperback if you wish. I did because I like trades. It collects all those individual issues, plus you get the new one, which is great. Anyway, go support Eric. Sarah says, T. Brian. Hey, BKM, says Donna Carlene. Carl says, hey, Brian and the Eric. That's right. And then Donna says, hey, the Eric. Brian K. Morris says, hey, Sarah. Hey, Donna. Hey, Carl, everybody. Everybody's loving each other. What is this? Taking bets on how long it takes to grow back. What are you doing?
I already got stubble.
4
It's
days.
gross. Whatever. Brian hearted at you, but I don't. I shard at you instead.
Ooh.
Indeed. Eric says projects we love, blah blah blah, whatever. I really don't know why or how it happens. I don't know how. I feel like they just pick them at random, but like I've gotten it consecutively. So I don't. It's nothing that we've done. I have no idea. I mean, this man,
Created nothing good.
Eric got a successful, completely initially goal-funded campaign in 17 minutes, and I'm not funded yet. So it makes no sense. Like, why he would be a prime candidate for a project we love. I have no idea why. Brian K. Morris says, Damien, you've got until the bottom of the hour to regrow it. You better chia pet yourself, sir. Carl Witzman says, Brian Rodman got a projects we love, and the Eric Hawkins, did he ever get a dinner? Oh, I don't know, but he got a cigarette afterwards. I'll tell you that. Brian K. Morris says, laugh out loud. He's mocking Eric, and it's so sad. So it's not bamboo so much as it is bamboo. It was a moment with Chad. Thank you. Good grief. Chad caught it. All right.
Oh, I got
Eric
it.
Hawkins says, Panda herd poops. Pandas do revenge feces. Brian K. Morris says, and Amber Heard is a mutated panda. Don't make fun of the pandas like that. Sarah says, so get the nutrients from eating their poop.
Ew.
Which Jeremy would know about. And Carl Witzman, I love the
What?
He kind of meerkatted a little. He's like,
that's not true. Carl Witzman says, I read that Amber Heard must also eat 30 pounds of food a day to keep the bed full. Gross.
That's gross.
Sarah says, does your face feel vulnerable now, Damien?
it didn't till this show.
Good.
Thanks,
Grow it.
guys.
Grow it
Good.
back.
I'm
And
trying.
Sarah's laughing at Carl. Donna says, Luna, they love you. Your lunatics are calling. She says, good. Keep them over there.
Oh, lunatics. I like that.
And then, yeah, that's they've dubbed themselves the Lunatics. I think it's a great
sure.
name.
keep telling you, sure.
Well, we might do that later. And Carl sees Luna now as well. BKM says Brian's done nothing to get project we love, and Eric's done even less. We are lazy.
Exactly.
That's what
I
Brian is
agree.
trying to say.
100%
Carl Woodson
agree.
says Brian R is too young to get that joke about the dinner. Apparently, I am. I'm
Yep.
sorry. I apologize
I
for
didn't
my
get it
youth.
either.
We're all youthful here. Well, I don't know, Chad. How old are you? You're like 65, aren't you?
Hey,
What? How old are you? You're like 40,
46.
46?
40-12.
40.
Man,
Yeah,
old, man.
you're the eldest member here.
I am. I'm the elder.
You are.
By how many
Wow.
months?
Yeah, not by much, but still.
No, my
Oh,
birthday's
here
in
we go.
June.
Damien, JD's here. He says, hi, JD, by the way. He says, what's up, gents? Don't grow it back, Damien. You're fine. Don't listen to JD. JD
Man.
hates you. That's why he said that.
JD's awesome.
JD put up
JD
with
is
me last
awesome,
week.
but he
We're good.
hates Damien because he told him not to grow his beard back.
Maybe
not
he's
what we
trying to
do
be
here.
encouraging.
You know who else agrees with me? And I know they agree with me? Jeremy.
I know who it is. There
Jeremy
it is.
agrees with me. Look at him. Look at that
Yes.
hideous grin. All right, guys. It's now time
We need
to
more of
jump
that.
into
That's my suggestion.
the questions
next
for the
season.
night. Now, the icebreaker that we have, which I'm pretty stoked to hear about. And in the comment section, feel free to answer this as well. But we'll start with you, Damien. What are your all-time favorite season or series finales from TV shows? We'll limit you to 2. You get 2 choices.
I never like series finales. I'm trying to think.
Let's do season finale. Then.
Star Trek Voyager, I think was good. It wrapped up the series in a nice bow, with still giving a nod to things that had happened before. It played with some time travel, so there were some elements. You got to see some characters older or as adults. I've been trying to give it some thought.
So Voyager, what? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm very ignorant about Star Trek. So
It's
Voyager,
Star Trek.
Voyager was the one where
I'm ignorant about that. There's Star Trek Wars.
Star Trek Voyager was the one where they get shot to the Delta Quadrant, which is we're in the Alpha Quadrant.
Who
Like our galaxy-
starred in Voyager? That's what I need.
Who
It's
what?
not the Patrick Stewart
Starred
series.
Kate Mulgrew.
Is that,
or wait,
is that
no.
the one with Quantum Leap guy?
Name.
Was that no?
Oh,
That
That's one on
didn't do
UPN.
very
Don't
well.
you like that one?
Yeah, I would say that one didn't do very well.
But it was the next one after.
That was
That one had
Patrick
a-
Stewart was the Next Generation, right?
Yeah. Which
And
had
the
a
Deep
good
Space
season
Nine
finale
was like
too.
the soap opera.
Mhm.
Star
DS9
Trek.
was like we're at war and we love each other, we hate each other. We're gonna kill
Yeah.
people randomly.
Yeah.
Scott
Alright.
Bakula.
So what was
that's what his
Voyager
name
then?
is.
I don't remember that.
They were shot. An alien grabbed their ship, put them in the Delta Quadrant, and they had to find their way home. And so it was going to be like 70 years before they were going to be able to get home.
That's
At
easily 3 letters away.
It's just E. Apparently, it's where the Borg came from. It's all kinds of
Oh,
and all
okay.
this stuff.
So tell me then, why was that? Why was it so good? Why was that? Was it season or series finale? That
Series
you liked?
finale.
Okay.
The series finale is one of the better Star Trek finales. They tend to return to the main plot line and just finish it, and you don't get to know a lot. I mean, the original series didn't really get one. Next Generation kind of got one. You bounced around a bit, but it was still kind of ambiguous. DS9 got one with, it tied up the main plot line. Like they tie up the main plot line of the moment and then go off. Like these people's lives are still continuing to leave it open for movies.
Yeah.
Whereas Voyager, Paramount was already at that point where they're like, we're not going to do any more Star Trek movies. Like they mothballed that stuff and sold it off at auction within like a year of that show ending. So they got to kind of play around and they got to see, characters that you watch a child get born in the first season and you see her as an adult in the last season through some time shenanigans. And they end up much worse for wear, having found their way home, and they're all kind of lost. They were this family that had formed over the course of the show, and they have a way to fix it, to send them home sooner. And so one of them goes back in time to find that way for them so that they can all get home sooner and in one piece. People had died, lives were lost, half the ship was dead by this point. Like they know, when they got home, it was like a horror show. So they were able to go back, fix it, solve the main problem of the show, but still get to play with some of the concepts that they built in their own story over the season.
So how did it not really have that and it was all a dream kind of thing? I feel like it could either feel like that or like in game.
It avoided that by not quite writing out the alternate timeline that was created, but using its existence as the impetus for how they were able to fix it. So rather than creating like everyone just forgot, the people that got home still knew that this other timeline had occurred.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Okay.
See,
I just don't know a whole lot about Star Trek.
Don't
I feel
watch
like
Enterprise.
Star Trek and like Doctor Who are one of those that like so much has been made that at this point it's just not feasible for me to like catch up. You know what I mean? Like I don't.
That's
I
not
don't,
true. Actually, Doctor Who is very easy to catch up on. It's a lot easier than Star Trek.
Not from Chris Eccleston.
Oh, like from the get go?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's just so much that has been made.
The main difference is that with Doctor Who, you can pick any doctor, start there, and then go into whatever came after. Whereas with Star Trek, it's under the guise of this is the Federation and this is the universe that we're working in. These are the physics, so to speak, the character of the universe and the characters. They create their own unique idea within that.
So, but can you do that with Star Trek though? Like, pick a captain of the ship, and then
they are now with Discovery is a return to the original concepts, but it's complete own thing, and it's really I think it's a lot more accessible than any of the other series. And people will hate me for saying that because apparently it's like the redheaded stepchild of Star Trek, but I think it's really good. I would start there. I wouldn't even start with the old shows.
That's the new one. You said Discovery. That's got, was it a name? Her last name's Martin Green. Tasha.
It's got I forgot his name too. You'll know
she was in
Brian.
Walking Dead. She left Walking Dead to go do that show.
Yeah, she's in there. Doug, the guy who plays all the weird people in costumes.
Oh, Doug Jones.
Yes, he is. He's a big alien, but he's got a speaking role, so it's really him. It's like him talking.
Neat.
Good
like
for him. I'm glad. They start in the original series era, end up way in like the 32nd century, and so they kind of skip like all this stuff to still stay their own thing, even though they're like from the past in the future. It's neat. The way they do it, I'm not doing it any justice. The way they do it is exceptional, and the effects are better. Like you can't be
sure.
They answer a lot of little questions like, what's running the ship? Like in the new series, there's a computer, but like
the internet. What's
actually physically fixing and running the ship? So they like answer all these questions that Star Trek never bothered to really answer. So that's why it's a good series.
Yeah.
All right, Jeremy, what about you?
So my first one is Walking Dead season 4 finale. That's when the Governator came and destroyed the.
Arnold Schwarzenegger was on the show?
No. He was a bad guy called the Governor.
The Governor, yeah.
Yeah. He came and like completely destroyed the prison where they had been staying. And, a lot of people talk about Walking Dead and how it got like very formulaic. And what I thought they did well was right when you started to feel that way, they would just like completely destroy everything and start back over. And I think that was the first time that you had done that. The first season they go to the CDC. It's only 6 episodes. You can't really get, that monotonous in 6 episodes. And then, by season 4, they had kind of been in the same place for, about a season and a half. And then he rolls in with a freaking tank and just destroys everything and kills, what is his name? It just escaped me. The old man.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name either. Yeah.
What the heck is his name?
Herschel?
Yes.
Herschel, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they killed him. They cut his head off.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. Like with a sword. Just lopped it right off. And he had already had his leg cut off.
Yeah.
You know, and what that did was it dispersed the entire group. They went out, and for the next like season, it was like each episode was, well, these four people, and like how they were like getting closer to each other, or maybe like overlapped just by like a day, and then they were all getting to this one place. But it kind of became their pattern where things start getting monotonous. Well, we're just gonna blow everything up and make everybody very sad. So I picked that one.
That was their mission statement. That's what they said.
Make everybody sad. Yeah. I picked that one over the Negan one. I can't
handle the Negan.
I was debating because like I think the fact that you have that reaction says that they did exactly what they wanted to do.
Oh yeah, like it was.
You know
totally
what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I think that was exactly what they wanted to do, and I have never, movie or TV show, have never felt like sick. From watching something.
Yeah, but not from the gore.
Yeah,
like that was
just
my
the
thing.
Desperation and hopelessness. Yeah,
it was so disturbing.
Yeah,
so disturbing.
And I like how do you have like X-rated movies where everybody's getting blown up all the time?
Right.
Can't make you feel the way that this like syndicated television show makes you feel. And for that, like I think the writers did an amazing job with the show. I will say I haven't watched the last season because it was like a year and a half in between, and I just like picked up like 12 shows in the meantime that I'm trying to like catch up on. So I haven't watched the last season of it. But yeah, so season 4 finale, Herschel dies and everybody gets dispersed, and I thought that was a great way to break up the monotony. The other one, season 2 series or season 2 finale of Community. It's the second paintball scene, or the second paintball episode. It's called For a Few Paintballs More. And if you don't get that reference, it's a Clint Eastwood Western reference, Few Dollars More. But it has a Western theme, and Community, I think, is very underrated when it comes to the writing and the storytelling. I think people see it as like super sophomoric, like that it's just dumb middle school humor, which there's a lot of that in there. But I think the way that they tell stories is really cool. Like, who would have ever thought that having a school-wide paintball tournament would be a story for a television show? You know what I mean? And they did it like 3 times, and all 3 of them are fantastic. Yeah. And it was never boring. So I don't know. I just liked that one particularly. It just, you could tell like the Russo brothers were involved in some of the later episodes. Like, you're like, oh, this is like Baby Marvel. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was fun too.
You can see all those ideas that they brought into the movies percolate.
Yeah.
Well, Dan Harmon's a genius writer. I mean, he really he does. Dan Harmon. Yeah. He's a genius writer. And that was, I think it was the 3rd season was his last season, and then he came back with like 4 at the end of 4 or something.
Yeah.
NBC got rid of him for a while.
NBC. Gross. Let's jump into the comments section really quick. Brian says, "Don't let JD out until he grows a beard. You guys get him. Tell him." And then he says, "Hi, JD. How you doing?" And then Cozy's up next to him and won't let him leave. Carl Witzman says, "Back on the old Dean Martin roasts, one of the comedians would make fun of the roastee and comment on who in history never got a dinner."
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Okay, yeah.
That.
I actually, my dad has some of those old tapes. I've watched them before. JD says, "All of you should shave." No.
Not gonna happen.
Brian K. Morris says, "Best show finale, Blake's 7." Never seen it. Damien, you're old. Do you know what that is?
You shut your mouth.
I think it's like shadow puppets or like cave drawings. It's a series of shadow puppets.
Carl Witzman says the Mythbusters series finale. That was awesome. Jeremy, you love Mythbusters, don't you?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, man.
I got Discovery Plus, and within a month, I had watched like 17 seasons of Mythbusters.
I totally believe it. I remember when it was on. Like, you were all about it. Brian K. Morris says, "Best season and the Matt Smith season of Doctor Who, where we learn the oldest question in the universe." Oh. I haven't actually gotten to that one yet, but I've heard about that episode.
But if you don't know what it is, you've never seen the show.
I have seen the show, and I don't know what it is.
Then you should know what it is.
Well, oh well. Donna Carleen says, "I second the Mythbusters series finale." JD Calderon says, "Please strip Brian of his geek cred. He's embarrassing you guys. You can't be a geek about everything, or then I wouldn't have time to make comics. You silly wiener." Carl Witzman says, "That was one of my top 3, Brian. Second was Capaldi Regeneration." BKM says, "Ooh, that was good, Carl." Carl says, "Thank you, JD. You are correct. I guess about my cred, but oh well." Ted Davies Artistry says, "Damien Roddenberry Waldron."
I grew up on that stuff. I grew up on Star Trek. It's
like
in my
Roddenberry. You were there, like, you were from episode 1, right?
Me and Lucille Ball and Desi were talking about
45 when that came out.
And we said, "Look, back this play, back this play," and you will make
words are hard. It's okay.
Words are hard for me.
Words are hard. Carl's saying that he sees Luna. I do too at 3 a.m. right here, going, "Play with me." And so here's the thing, Luna Break. This is what she does. So she used to play fetch all the time, and she's starting to do it again, which is cute. It's wonderful. We love to see her play again. She's been really stressed since Beasley entered the household, and she's starting to chill out. Well, she now plays all night, and she'll go back and forth between me and Robin, and she wants to play fetch. She has little hair ties that we throw down the hallway, and she runs,
meow,
back. Yeah, meow. And if you don't, she will just scratch at you until you do something with your life.
My cat does that. I can't. My cat's
BKM says, "Jeremy, I know people who have started with an unearthly child with unearthly child." It's so hard to say.
Words are hard.
English is hard. And binge watch to the present. It can be done. Believe in yourself. Yes. Sarah says, "Here's how much I know about Star Trek. I found out that I was surrounded by Trekkies when I said, so that's what a Klingon is. I'm not that far gone. I know what a Klingon is. I actually used to know some words in Klingon. I nearly lost my life when I saw their faces. Yes, I imagine so. You could hear a pin drop. I think my life flashed before my eyes." Carl Witzman says, "OMG, Sarah, I need some bourbon now." Ooh, that sounds nice. And Donna Carleen is laughing at Sarah. She's laughing at herself. "I was legit finding out that a few years ago, and you didn't need a bourbon before my comment." I know, right? Carl, I feel like you always have at least one glass with you. Sarah says, "To get an OMG out of Carl was unexpected, but I'm kind of proud of that in a shameful way." Don't be shamed. That is a great honor And Carl says, nope. Sarah's laughing at him. And he said, I didn't think anything could shock me over 25 years of doing counseling, and that's what shocked you. That's great. Sarah says, I think I might have just taken that torch without realizing it. And Donna Carlene says, Don Rickles was the one who did that, Carl. Yes. Oh, I love Don Rickles. Carl Witzman says, B. Rodman, my dad had some of those tapes, and Carl dies. Carl, I mean,
What's a tape?
You could be my father. You are old enough. I'm just saying.
You're not my father.
You're not my father.
But if anyone has seen Brian Rodman's dad, you know that is not true because they look alike.
Yeah. Well, my mom is who I look like the most. I'm the same size as my dad, and we have some of the same mannerisms, but my mom is me without a beard, which is hilarious because last Halloween she dressed up as me with a beard, and it was funny. It was really funny. You should check those out on Facebook. Yeah, thank you, Chad.
You're welcome.
Whatever, don't talk to me. Sarah says, silly wiener. I said, yes, it's fun. You should say it to more people. Brian K. Morris says, and Brian, you must be a geek about everything unless it's something I am not familiar with. Exactly. This is what we do. Damien, is that princess?
Baby.
No, baby. That's what it is.
Baby. Nobody puts baby in the corner.
Baby. Yeah. Let's see baby up close. Oh,
say hi to your adoring fans that don't know you.
Look at her. She's
Meow.
so sweet.
Meow.
Meow.
She's purring very well. Well, she was.
Meow.
Now she wants to eat.
She's a sweetie.
That's what I would sound like if I was a cat.
I believe you.
Meow.
Absolutely. Meow.
Meow.
Meow. Brian says, then that crap doesn't matter. Oh wait, sorry, I skipped one. No. Here we go. Sorry. And Brian, you must be a geek about everything unless it's something.
You already said that one.
I am finishing his sentence.
People are
dirty man. Brian, I'm sorry that someone interrupted you so rudely. Brian says, Carl, Brian's tapes are all Betamax. Carl Witzman says, hello, Damien's cat. And he says, I could be your father. What's your mom's name? I was legit waiting for that comment. Ted Davies says, met Rodman's parents in Lexington. We awesome. Why would you know that? That's all I want to know. Why would you know how my parents wee? That's weird, Ted. Not cool. Carl Witzman says, baby. And Ted Davies says, where? Sure.
You're
sure it is. This is Rodman's dad fanboyed over John Celestri. He wasn't the only one. Ted. That was so awesome to see you guys totally fangirl over him. Yeah, there's Sarah says, I want to get you pasties for your nipple head hat. Huh? All right. Not sure about that one. Brad Gilmore says, did Damien build baby from parts of his old beard?
Oh, cool, Brian.
He didn't like that, Brian. So hey guys, let's jump into our first real practical question.
Hold on.
You
and
Chad, that's right. Chad doesn't really matter. Chad, what do you want to say? I don't care.
Eat his face, Chad. Eat it.
No, actually, it is actually pointless to ask me this question because
you never watch TV.
I don't watch TV. And
I knew it. I knew you don't watch TV. You're too busy killing people.
Yeah, that's true. The shows that I have watched, I've never finished. So, like for example, like my wife and I started Smallville like many years ago. We didn't finish season 10. We watched Lost. I never watched the last season of Lost. I was thinking
it's because it was terrible. So
yeah, that's
terrible. You just didn't
right now we're watching Schitt's Creek, but we're not to the end of season 6.
I love that show.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Yeah.
Every season of that show should have been my answer.
It's so good. It's so hilarious on so many levels. I started Westworld. I lost interest.
Yeah, me too.
Honestly, Moon Knight, I'm starting to lose interest on.
I watched the first 2 weeks and that's it. I haven't watched any more, and I need to watch them because I think I'll like it. But yeah,
the first episode was amazing, and then I watched the second one. I just kind of got bored. And same with Daredevil. I know that's probably blasphemous to say, but I saw the first season. I liked it a lot, but then the second season, I just lost interest.
That's okay. First season was probably the best.
Yeah, so it was a really good season, but the second season I didn't really get into.
It took me 5 different sittings to finish the second episode of Moon Knight.
Wow.
Because it was just like, it was on, and then I would look down at my phone, and it's like, oh, text message, pause. Neat text message. And no, but it was boredom, because the text message was so important, which it wasn't. Yeah. It was just like more entertaining than watching the show at that point. And I don't understand it. Like, all the pieces are there for it to be awesome. Oscar Isaacs is fantastic. He's doing a fantastic job. I don't know.
I think the first. Sorry, go ahead, Damien.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's your turn.
I was gonna say, I think the first episode was so good. Like, it was so mysterious, and you were really like, it really caught you. And then it just seemed like the second one, that mystery was gone. It was, how he became Moon Knight was answered. I still don't like Ethan Hawke, and I just got bored. So I was like, whatever. I'm gonna give it another shot and watch the next. I think I've only seen the first 2. So, So what were you saying, Damon?
Oh, I was kind of going off what you just said, actually. I think it's the delivery. I think it's trying to be a Marvel thing and be this sort of semi-immersive experience into this person's mind. Mm-hmm. And, we're used to Marvel things being Marvel things. Like, they're very, not necessarily formulaic in and of themselves, but there's hits, there's points they hit, that you're used to getting to. And having seen everything up to date, and I'm not getting up at 6 a.m. to watch it tomorrow or whenever it comes. Right. I'm gonna wait till tomorrow, probably. But this last episode even just ended on this big, fast turnaround, and just like a shocking kind of moment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't expect it, and it brought you back into the whole thing of it being in somebody's head. You know what I mean? So it's like bouncing back and forth between trying to be this very cerebral sort of like, you're in this guy's mind sitting, you're the third or fourth personality basically sitting in his mind, playing this, seeing this play out from the back seat, and being about a Marvel superhero in the Marvel.
Yeah. I think for me, what kind of takes me out, and I think this might be what you mean, what you're getting at with talking about it's trying to be Marvel, but it's trying to be this other thing. I'm getting kind of sick of the quippy jokes, because I think they don't need to happen in this show. Like, not that it doesn't need humor, like, that's fine, but I don't think, like, for me, I feel like that's getting old. And I feel like that's being forced into this show, which might be why it's kind of taken me out of it. Because I feel like we're getting into like some really like serious, more deep things, and then we've got to make these silly jokes just to make sure that this is still a Marvel show.
I was thinking about the other day, that like, because by episode 2, he's figured like all of the personalities are like joined under this one like umbrella personality. Right. Mm-hmm. And what I thought would be fantastic is if, in like a Tarantino sort of way, it was all like separate chunks of story, just exclusively this one guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you
kind of like Memento.
Yes.
Like a puzzle that you have to put together by the end of the series. Yeah.
Right. Where it's like, because they did this thing, the like flashback where he just wakes up and everybody's dead and he's driving a box truck. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see guy or personality 1 switch to personality 2, switch to personality 3, all in like a linear way in this same like
kind of experience
story.
it the way that the big personalities do.
Yeah.
Which is what they were doing with episode 1.
Right.
Yes.
And they do it again in episode 3. They do it again.
Oh, okay. Well, good.
So you'll have to watch it to get that detail.
Yeah. I think, Jeremy, what you said is exactly how I feel, because I think for me, when I try to say it takes away the mystery, that's kind of what I'm talking about. Like in the first one, you're trying to figure out like, who is this person? What's going on with them? There's so much not told, but you are forced to kind of connect the pieces together. And I like that. And that was the same thing with Westworld. Like when I first started watching that, I was so intrigued by it. But then once you started getting answers, it just lost its whatever, And so I just stopped watching it. So if I had to pick one, honestly, I would probably go with, I'd have to say a movie. My favorite ending to a movie is probably Shawshank Redemption. I love the ending of that movie.
Okay.
And then I know that's not a TV show. If I had to go with a TV show, I would say I did actually like the ending of Game of Thrones. I know a lot of people didn't like it. And I know, some people
that explains a lot.
Yeah, well, whatever. I did actually I thought it tied together a lot of things, and I heard a lot of people just really rag on it. I felt like the end of The Lord of the Rings was the most horrible ending of any movie ever, because there was 8 of them, and it just kept going on and on and on. And I felt like with Game of Thrones,
like
it had it. Do what?
I said, Joe mentioned I like you, Chad. Please keep going.
Oh yeah, so I love the movies. I hated the ending, but I think with Game of Thrones, I think it did tie everything together without it being like 8 different endings. Me personally, I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I don't care. So that's what I would go with, those 2.
All right. I would say because we got to get on to another subject. I would say that I really, really enjoyed Smallville season finale. I think the last 3 seasons of the show, 8, 9, and 10, were the strongest seasons. And it's because the writers of season 4, which was a really, really good season, they took over as producers. Once the original producers left the show, and at the end of the worst season, which was season 7. And the last episode was so gratifying. Like, to see him, spoiler alert, Chad, to see him like running on a rooftop and doing the iconic shirt open with the S underneath is worth it to me. Just to like sit through 10 seasons of this. And the whole show was great. I really enjoyed it. It doesn't really hold up. Now it's kind of cheesy now because it was the first CW superhero show. But the last episode of Smallville is just fantastic. And I think that was probably, I watched every episode of that when it aired. And I own all the seasons. I think that's the other than my animated series shows that don't really have finales. Justice League was the Batman Beyond Justice League episode. That wasn't the finale, was it, Damien?
It was one of the last 3 episodes.
I know it was one of the last ones. I don't think it was the finale.
It wasn't the finale, no.
Yeah, that's up there with my favorite ending, episodes of a show. But yeah, Smallville's got to take it for me. And if Supernatural ended when it was supposed to, season 5, that would have been a close second. But it didn't.
I'm going to say one more thing. I know we're running late. I don't care. I'm going to say one more thing. 2 other shows that I really liked but ended horribly would be Raised by Wolves on HBO Max. The ending was
is it already over?
Well, season 1. The ending of season 1 was atrocious.
Have you not seen season
2? No, I haven't started because the ending of season 1 was so bad.
Trust me, it gets better. I've seen the whole season 2. It gets better.
And then A Handmaid's Tale is one of my favorite shows of all time. It's so dark, so good. But the ending of the last season was a bit disappointing. I'm just kind of like, what are you going to do now? You've done the big thing, and now what are we doing? So, anyways, that's it. I got it.
She just gets the job, I guess.
They interject.
Yeah.
At a supermarket.
Back to normal.
Because I heard I'm liberated. Let's just go. start a society.
Super quick. Just one's well done.
All right, what do you got?
30 seconds. There's 60 seconds.
1, 2.
Animated season finale that wasn't meant to be a season finale. Futurama season 4. Episode I think was 22. The Devil's Hands or Idle. No, like Devil's Hands or Idle Playthings. It was the last made. It is the last episode of Futurama before it was picked back up as movies.
Yeah.
It is honestly one of the best episodes. It's not. Didn't win an Emmy. It's almost never referenced again. It's even the dog episode they ended up screwing up in the first movie they made. It's very heartfelt. It's basically Fry and Leela being very vulnerable with each other in this moment. The last 3 minutes of the show are perfect, and it personifies that show in its entirety. That yes, there's all this weird stuff, but at the heart of everything, we're all just people that want to connect with each other.
Yeah.
They have this beautiful moment, and the show ends. And you have no idea what's going to happen. And then, 3 years later, they made a movie.
Yeah.
They brought it back again.
Nice.
No, stop. All right, well, let's jump back into the comments section really quick. BKM says no one watched the last season of Lost. They did, but they were all very sad. BKM says, or admits it. Carl Witzman says probably the reason that it was the last season. Sarah says never saw a single episode of Lost. I tried to watch the first couple seasons. I just couldn't get into it. And my buddy Evan at the time, my gosh, he was all about Lost and he absolutely loved it. And I think
it was one of the first of those
at the end of it.
One of those water cooler shows.
It really was
where it was everyone was so into it. Like Stranger Things did that, and
The Office
did
a
million,
a
million Netflix shows after that. But they have a formula or something. I don't know.
BKM says sorry, I watched about 5 minutes and I was done with Lost. It lost me. Ted Davies says anything that has a hippo god avatar I'm loving. Moon Knight rocks. Plus my Moon Knight comic 32 is worth a fortune now. Awesome. Congratulations, sir. BKM says I like J.J. Abrams movies, but his TV shows not so much. It depends on the movie for me. I feel like he's very,
what other
very
TV
good.
shows has he done?
Oh, he's done
Alias,
he did Lost.
Fringe.
He's done a ton. Fringe is probably my favorite TV show that he did.
Weird one called 6 Degrees. That was supposed to be it was all the human connection from Lost with none of the crazy weird stuff, and so it learned very quickly.
Yeah, he is very, very good at starting a story. I mean, you think about it, he did Force Awakens. And then handed it off, and then it became what it is. But he's very good. All of his season premieres, all of his series premieres, the pilot episodes are great. And then
because they're movies,
really. I mean that's what it is. But my favorite J.J. Abrams movie was Super 8. I think that one was probably his best. So let's see. Brian K. Morris then says, I'd have liked Smallville's ending better if Tom Welling was actually in a super suit, aside from that last scene. I agree. But I came to terms with the fact that we weren't going to see that when they said over and over and over and over and over again that there was no tights, no flights, even though he flew in the show. It was kind of silly. But I agree.
Cessna.
Do what?
It was just like on a Cessna, like a little plane.
No, actually, the season premiere of season 4, he flies, and it is probably one of the most epic scenes of the entire show. It was very well done. The graphics, the special effects hold up now. They did such a good job. It just costs a lot of money to make it look good, so they didn't have him fly. Yeah. BKM says, by the way, Welling and Michael Rosenbaum will be at the Superman celebration in June. I might have to go to that just to meet them. I love Michael Rosenbaum. Will forever be my favorite Lex Luthor. I don't know that there could be a better Lex Luthor. He
You don't like Kevin
is
Spacey?
he is worth doing. I thought Kevin Spacey was okay, but Kevin Spacey's a dirtbag, so I'm not gonna give him any credit.
Yeah.
But Michael Rosenbaum was pretty freaking awesome in that role. Especially like to go away from being Lex Luthor for like 2 seasons and then come back in the last episode like he did he came back like a boss. It was pretty awesome, even though he had a bald cap on and he looked like a big alien with a giant head. But BKM said he also did Alias, which went from a hot mess to a hot mess. Fringe was also another one that got too disjointed for me. I thought it was really fun. I enjoyed it. I can see why people don't really enjoy it once you get into like the 3rd season. BKM says, actually, I would give the final, Smallville episode a 9.5. It is pretty good, and Rosenbaum is awesome. Absolutely. I got pics with him. Yeah, because you like interview everybody. You get you interviewed James Marsters, and it makes me sad. I actually got to see that live though. Back before BKM and I knew each other, I went to the Superman Festival, and James Marsters was being interviewed, and I got to talk to James Marsters before the interview. He's a very nice gentleman. And Brian K. Morris interviewed him
Cool.
on the stage for everyone to see, and I had no idea who he was at that time. So anyway, now
Neat.
let's jump
Now,
into
at 8:00, let's get to our actual show.
let's do it. So guys, we have had a 4th season. What has been your favorite Dingoes moment of this season, and why? Chad, we'll start with you.
I'll be quick. I really like, there was 3 shows in the middle of the season that I think were awesome. I don't have a particular, situation or scene or anything, but I just think the one about the mental health, the one about social media, and the one about, I think it was creativity or something. I forget what the 3rd one was, but those 3 were really good. And we got a lot of feedback on those as far as those being really helpful and encouraging to people. Obviously, I don't think it's a good idea to do a whole season of shows like that, but I think those 3 in particular were good breaks from what we normally do, and I think were really helpful to people. So those were my favorite parts of the season.
I'll just go ahead and piggyback off of that. Yes, I agree. Those were my 3 as well. Those episodes, I think they got the most attention, and for all the right reasons. And I think, to skip ahead to a future topic, we will be doing a few more episodes like that in season 5. But we aren't going to do those all the time because, like Chad said, it gets a little heavy. And that's not what that's not the only thing we're about here. We like having fun. We like laughing and doing some things, doing some silliness. But yeah, those episodes were freaking good, and I think that's probably the best content that we have done as a show. Damien, what about you?
I agree. I mean, this is my first time around, so I can't really say much.
That's right. This is your first season. Were you here with us the whole season? I can't remember.
Off and on. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
New job, time constraints.
Yeah.
I think y'all started, and then I kicked in probably like second or third week.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think so. I mean, those shows definitely were good. Last week's show was the best, in my opinion.
It was pretty awesome, I will have to say.
You did a good show last week, man. Good job.
Next time, I won't have to have you come in and start the show.
Well, that was my fault. I didn't realize that you didn't have those that permission to.
That was definitely Brian's fault.
So
I legitimately.
We were at work, and he's just like, "I've got all this stuff down. I'm ready." And he went through it all, and I watched him, and he's like, "I got this, I got this, I got this." And then the minute he was trying to go live, I get a text message just like, "Hey, I can't go live. I need you to help me." It's like, "Oh no, that's my fault. That was my fault."
It was like Chad, JD, and my wife all going, "You're going to start the show?" And I'm like,
I don't know what button to push.
Your phone. Now what, buddy? What you want? Come in and hit play.
Yeah, well, we are glad to have you on the show. I think that I'm glad that I don't have to carry the personality of the show all on myself because I have this to work with right next to me. No, I do. I'm really glad that you're on the show now, Damien, and I think it's a good. I think 4 is a good even number for any show. 5 if you're Comic Book Spectrum. Which
That's
will be
not
on
even
Thursday.
though.
Shh, stop that.
Yeah, but we're prettier.
We are.
We're a prettier show. Sorry, Brian. Sorry, BK.
I don't know. I'm on both, so I don't care. I don't have to choose. But anyway, no, we're glad to have you, buddy. Jeremy, what about you?
For me, any of the movie reviews that we do are my favorites. But I really enjoyed Batman. I think because like we all went and saw it at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that brought more out of us in our discussion because we had seen it together.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it just made it more. I feel like it probably made it more engaging for everyone else because it was like we were sitting standing in the parking lot talking about it afterwards. You know? Yeah, that's kind of the feeling that I had. So
yeah,
and we will be doing more of those next year, I'm sure. The reason we haven't done them the last couple of years is we haven't been going.
Pandemic.
Their pandemic happened. So let's jump into the comment section really quick. Carl Witzman says, I have to agree with Chad. Those were the best. I for once in my life, agree with Chad. BKM says, my favorite Dingo shows are the crossovers because I'm a raging egomaniac. Those are my second favorites. Honestly, I really enjoy crossing over with CBS. It's a lot of fun to see those two worlds collide for me because, like I said, I'm on both shows. Ted Davies says, great show and season, guys. Thank you, sir. Have a wonderful evening. And Eric Hawkins says, prettier my ass.
I've never seen your ass, so I don't know if it's prettier than mine.
I haven't. It's gorgeous. Adrian Mathenia says Jeremy is the hot one. That's undisputed. We all know that.
Yes.
Thank you, Adrian.
And BKM says, Jeremy, it wouldn't matter how many people are on CBS. We're all odd. And that is very true. Ted Davies, best show. Ted Davies interviewed by the Dingoes.
100%.
All right, man. Well, so our next question, which we would love to hear from you guys on this one specifically. So put your thinking caps on, boys and girls. What topics would you like for us to explore in season 5 of the show? And while the audience is hold on, I have to do this. My ass is spectacular, flat, but spectacular. Hey man, like I tell everybody, I don't have a butt. I have 2 legs and a crack. That's it. So we'll start with Jeremy. What topics or
Why do you always start with me?
I know. I started with Chad last time.
That is true.
We never start with you.
What would you like to see us? What topic would you like to talk about next season?
Marketing. And
marketing.
How to present yourself to the rest of the world so that people will buy stuff from you.
Low one.
Okay. All right, that actually is a good one. We probably will talk about marketing at some point. Damien, what about you?
Eric's flat ass. No, wait.
That's a topic on this episode.
That's a 2-hour show. Delicious. So anyway, I like the lighter fare sometimes. I think more like I don't know. I like getting into the meat and potatoes of stuff, like our processes and things. I like getting into some of the stuff we've done, but I also think we gotta laugh. We gotta have fun while we're doing it. So
we're not reviewing Seven anytime soon.
No. Actually, we could, and I think
Schindler's
we would
List.
find a way to make it funny. That I can't make funny. You would
black and white.
Yes.
It's like the
Schindler's
Charles Manson murders.
Yes.
There's
The
my
Ted
hero.
Bundy documentary. Oh, I'll tell you what. Hey, you know what?
Why
On
did you just get so excited about that
I want to tell
documentary?
you something. The creepiest Like, you will love this, Brian. The creepiest documentary I've ever seen is the Jimmy Savile documentary on Netflix. It is so creepy. You have got to see it.
All right. What's it called?
So creepy. Jimmy Savile story.
It's just called Jimmy Savile. Okay.
Yeah, it's called A British Horror Story.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yeah.
There's a title.
It's so creepy. It's right up your alley. Yeah.
All right. I'll check it out. I've actually been watching creepy documentaries lately. I have Shudder, and I have been watching Cursed Films. A really good documentary. Super interesting. I just watched the Rosemary's Baby episode. And a lot of it didn't have a whole lot to do with the movie itself. It had to do with the Manson murders, because apparently that was released around the same time, and I didn't know the timing of any of that stuff. So it's
Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean.
No, I was just rambling at that point.
I was just gonna say this will be right up your alley because, dude, I'm telling you, Jimmy Savile is like a real life Joker. Seriously. Ooh. He's like,
I'm not familiar with him, so that
I didn't know about him either until I saw the documentary. He was like super famous and like was a talk show host and a DJ and all that, and like knew the royalty and knew all these celebrities and everything the whole time. He is a pedophile, and he is like, no one knows about it because it's part of his persona. And so he's like making these comments about how things are happening behind the scenes, but they all think it's part of his persona as this weird guy. But everything he's saying is true. And he's saying it to the camera, and his face is so creepy. It looks like the Joker.
Gosh.
Seriously.
So it's essentially if Andy Kaufman was a serial killer, essentially.
It's worse than that.
Oh gosh. All right.
Yeah, you definitely have to see it.
Was Jimmy Savile the one that wrote that song?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe because he had a talk show. About? No, not really. But I mean, he had a show for kids where they would write in and like, Jimmy Savile will do it, and like he'd ask them, hey, can you? I'd always want to like drive in a Corvette or whatever, and he would make it happen. Like that was his thing. But the whole time he's like abusing these kids. It's
oh gosh, that's terrible.
It's creepy. Right. I'm telling
you. I don't know. I don't know about pedophilia. That's
no. That stuff is gross. But
the way you said that, it was like, I don't know about it. It's like a lifestyle.
I don't know about.
I don't know if I could do it, man.
Like serial killers are one thing. Pedophiles are a completely different topic for me. I don't know if I can. I don't know.
I'm just saying
that sounded terrible, didn't it? I don't know about pedophilia. For me,
I'm not. Like,
I'll pass.
For me, it's so fascinating because I'm telling you, it's so creepy. You've got to see it. That's all I have to say.
Well, I might give it a try and try to make it through. I don't know. We'll see. I would like for us to start doing some more nerd news, like topical, like current events in the nerd world kind of stuff. And it may not have to take over the whole show. Definitely doesn't have to be every show. But when we first started this podcast, when it was me, Jeremy, and Justin, that was most of the show. Was just our commentary on the nerd news of the day. And I would like to get back to a little bit more of that. So we might try. What do you guys think? We might try and do something like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. All right, let's jump into the comments. See what you guys are bright. What?
You're not going to ask me?
You just said it.
No, I talked about Jimmy Savile.
Oh, I thought pedophilia was your answer. On the show. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Oh, I don't have anything. No. I'm just joking. I do have something. It was an Ask the Audience thing, so I didn't really prep for it. But as we're sitting here thinking about it, I thought the two things I'd love for us to do a live show where we're all together. I know that there's some technical issues with that because you need multiple cameras and that kind of thing. And so maybe not every week, but I'd love to do at least one of them where we're all in the same room. And I think it'd be awesome. I see on the notes that you talk about doing an RPG episode. I think it would be awesome for us to like test out products together. Like if someone sent us a game that they made or something and that we played it and, that kind of thing. So anyways,
I have stuff. All right. So we'll get into that in just a second, actually, Chad. Let's jump back into the comments really fast. Talking about the Heine episode, Eric Hawkins, that can be arranged. I mean, we can have you on. We can have an extended episode all about your cheeks.
Only if we get to shake your groove.
BKM says marketing equals wear a fez. Next subject. Donna says, damn, I got the Eric hug when we met, but no one told me to look at his ass. Well, apparently it's very compact and adorable. Donna says, you are coming to Silicon, the Eric, right? Ooh, he didn't answer. That's not a good sign, Donna. BKM says the lighter side of the Saw franchise. I don't know if I want to put myself through that. I like the first one a lot.
Where he cuts off his own leg, but then like streamers come out.
Oh man! Again, we'll get into that in just a second. BKM says actually the BBC did know about Jimmy Savile, and they shielded him pretty much. Colin Baker of Doctor Who had some very scary stories about. Ooh, Jimmy will fix it. They shielded him. Oh, that's not good. Although it doesn't surprise me, as pedophilia friendly as Hollywood is, that doesn't surprise me at all. And the lighter side of Jimmy Savile. Ooh, oh no, don't want to do that. BKM says, all you guys in the Thunderdome, stay tuned for Chad's revenge. Eric says, I might come to SilCon. Sorry, had to make some new promos of how I never get Kickstarter love. Oh, Mr. I got funded in 17 minutes.
Yeah.
BKM says, Donna, we all pay attention to Eric's ass. In fact, he's been telling me to kiss it for years. Why don't you just do it, Brian? I have. It's a wonderful experience. Adrian says 5 minutes per episode dedicated to Deep Space Nine reviews. That's all you. That's all you, Damien.
That's episode 3. It's good.
So
Adrian is a huge Star Trek fan.
Nice. So let's skip to the bottom topic here. We'll come back to the other one.
The bottom topic, really?
The bottom topic. Yeah. Eric. No. So next season, I had a couple things in our notes. We are gonna probably tackle some more interviews. We didn't really do a whole lot of that. I think Ted's and we did a couple of the Comic Book Spectrum guys at the very beginning of the season.
Philip Russert was on the show.
I wasn't on that episode though because I was a lame face that week. But
JD Calderon.
JD last week. But we'll probably do a little bit more next season. We will be we won't be creating it. Jeremy will be creating a brand new intro for next season that will.
Since only Brian and I are in the intro,
right? Yeah, since it's just me and Jeremy in the intro right now, right? So we are
picture just right there.
just Photoshop them in random places. But next season, when you see us emerge again all together, we will have a brand new intro that we will be filming and Jeremy will be editing for next season, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We mentioned we have a
take
couple.
It to Sundance.
We're going to enter it into the film festival. We have a couple people that do tabletop games, and games, and then the tabletop the gamings, and zipping is up, and they're going to be on the show next season, and we're going to probably try to do like either a pre-recorded or a live playthrough with their games. Awesome. One is Far Far Away by Dirk Stanley, and there's I forgot the other one's title. It's a cat game created by my buddy David Scherer. So I'm really excited to
it's Cat Magic people, right?
Cat Magic, yes, that's what it is. And it went really well. And so we'll have both of them on the show eventually, and we'll have playthroughs. We'll do some movie commentaries. We haven't done this yet, but we have, like, Jeremy has a whole setup prepared for these things. And so essentially what that looks like is we will announce what movie we're going to be watching that week. and we will guide you through like when to press play, and we will just do a commentary together. We can do it live, we can do it pre-recorded, whatever, but we will be doing where the camera's just on us so that it can remain on YouTube, and you guys can be watching it at home, and you'll hear our commentary on the movie that we're watching. And we'll do old school movies, so it's pretty much movies everybody's already seen, everybody, owns. We may do a couple
Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, that'll be a great one to do. But you'll get to, you'll get to watch Ghostbusters with me heckling Chad in the background, which will be a lot of fun.
I think Carl hit the nail on the head there. So we're going to be riffing a little bit on these movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh, exactly. Right there. So we've got that coming up next season. And then, of course, we have our more intellectual topics, like we discussed earlier, that I think we really need
business.
Right.
The stocks.
The top biz topics. And I would actually like to really start doing, which we may do this over the summer, some tutorials of our different crafts, like some pre-recorded videos of drawing, of creating a comic, of creating a video, of maybe printing a toy, different things like that, just to kind of give you guys a glimpse of what our work process looks like outside of this show. Speaking of which, and this will be the topic that we close out on, after the comments, we'll jump into there really quick. Let's see. Donna, we all must pay attention to Eric's ass. In fact, he said that already. I just like talking about it, apparently. And we said that already. BKM says you should talk to Nick Talkert about his gaming engine. You might need to coax him out of his shell. Yeah, right. Carl Witzman says, so an MS3K on dingoes. Exactly. And Brian says, Carl, that makes me think we should do one of the Dingo Show. Oh dear.
It's very meta.
And, yeah, Carl agrees. Carl says, I'll start building a robot. I'll launch the satellite of love, Carl. We got this. I look forward to the Fez Squared show, which should be a show, by the way. Fez Squared. Come on, guys. The two of you doing a show together, it'd be like the old guys from the Muppets. It'd be hilarious. You got
to bring another third person in and have them heckle. You got to have that.
Well, no, they could do what they just said. Essentially, like they would just like pick a random YouTube show and heckle that during the show, and that would be their show.
Thanks for making me feel bad.
You're welcome. Grow a beard. So, last thing we want to talk about. I want to talk about like the balance of this show, and what we all do outside of the show. Like we make comics, videos, toys, all that jazz. I want to talk about kind of like, is it a struggle? What are the positives and negatives of doing a show like this while also doing other creative endeavors? Chad, we'll start with you.
Why do you always have to start with me?
No,
just kidding. I mean, for me, it's not much of a struggle. I mean, there were several episodes where I, wrote the show notes and all that kind of stuff. But other than that, it wasn't like, a huge burden or anything like that. I enjoyed the show. I enjoy getting on here. I enjoy hanging out with you guys. I'm at home all day, working from home with my kids. So it's kind of a nice, like, kind of get out of my world and hang out with you guys, which is a lot of fun. And so, yeah, I have a lot of fun with it. So I don't really have any negatives. I mean, I think it's good that we have multiple people on the show. So if any of us have like personal issues, we can take a week off and we still have people that can do the show. I think that's a strength of our show. And we all have different gifts that we bring to the show. And so there's a lot of variety in our conversation because we're all coming from slightly different, backgrounds and things like that. So no, that's all I have. I just have positives about the show. I love it.
All right. Jeremy, what about you?
Well, Brian, you and I have been here since the beginning, and it's definitely become a different thing in terms of like how the show goes, but also like the balance of responsibilities. And not that there was ever any sort of expectation from you or Justin when we first started. I mean, you even joke like I had so much more in my brain than either of you guys did.
Yeah.
And like the first time you guys came down to the basement and it was like a film studio.
It was
like
overwhelming.
A broadcast
we were like,
studio.
Yeah, we were thinking like microphone, a couple of chairs, and some recording equipment. Jeremy had like a green screen, a poker table, multiple chairs, lights, all this stuff, and we were like, "Holy crap, this is for real!"
Yeah, and so like the way that we did that first season, you know, we would do all of the recording, and then I would have like 3 separate audio tracks that I had to like engineer each one of them, and we're making cuts and transitions between things, and then was uploading it. And you know, it was something that I enjoyed doing, but I realized like, oh, this is like a whole thing. You know, everybody's like, oh, I just want to start a podcast, and you have no idea like what is involved in actually making that happen. And yeah, so it's changed, and it's become something that like Chad said, we have enough people to where if somebody, you know, Brian, you've got asthma and sometimes you can't be there, and you know, we all have things that require us having to step away at one point or another. So it's not as like overwhelming as it has been in the past for me at times. And I like that. It seems like this is this feels like a true like split right down the middle partnership where we're all kind of supporting each other and that sort of thing. And that feels great. So yeah, so it's become a great thing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Damien, what about you?
I had COVID and I still came on the show, so I don't know what y'all are talking about. Being a problem. No, I'm kidding. Genuinely, my only issue is I get off at 6 p.m. and it takes me about 30 minutes to drive home. My only issue is my Tuesday starts at like 7 and ends at like 10.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I'm down for whatever. And that's just, you know, I feel like you guys kind of intimidated me at first because you had a vibe, you had a thing, mechanism to your interactions, and that may have shown through at first, but it was you all have made me feel like, you know, hey man, come join in the fun.
Yeah,
and that's what I feel like it's been, and so I want to, you know, that's why I said I'm down for whatever. Like, this has been an adventure. I want to keep it going.
Sweet. The hazing begins tonight, fellas. And Luna obviously hates you all, is leaving. But I gotta say, I'm kind of with Jeremy. The evolution of this show is very interesting to look at. I was going to touch on this at the beginning of the show, but I figured I'd do it at the end instead. We have gone from just an audio podcast to a pre-recorded interview show to now a live YouTube show with multiple guests. Now we have a completely different roster of hosts than we did when we first started, and I think this was our best season yet. I really do. I think as far as a creator's perspective, it was, we all just kind of jumped in. Chad really, Rick, I know you were waiting for me to be mean to Chad, but I can't be at this point. Chad jumped in like a champ this season and really took ownership of the outlines. He, you know, because up until this season, I wrote the outlines of the show, which it wasn't really a huge deal, but I was struggling mentally at the beginning of this season, and thankfully I'm not anymore. I'm in a much better place, but I needed that extra room to just kind of get that one responsibility off my plate for this show. And Chad was excellent every single time. He had great topics to cover. He contacted to interview people to interview and wrote those questions, and they were really well done. So good job, Chad. Thank you very much.
Thanks. You're the best.
For what you did this season. And now that's enough of that. You suck. I hate your guts. But no, I am super blessed to be a part of not one but two really good group of guys that love what they talk about and really have a genuinely fun time just hanging out together. I mean, both shows that I'm on, this one and Comic Book Spectrum, we have our own private group message on Facebook that we heckle each other and talk all the time, and it's a lot of fun just to be able. It's a lot of fun, but it's very, very meaningful to be able to do that, to have a space where you can, come together, do a fun show, but also lean on each other in important times and goof off with each other in not so important times. And I would say in the past, it has been a bit of a struggle to balance this show with the time I spend drawing. But this season really wasn't the case. And I think we've really found a good balance. We've got a really good balance of personality here. Like Chad said, we all come from different perspectives, and we bring a very good variety of personalities, of experiences, and of humor or lack thereof. And so anyway, I say all this to say I love you guys, and I'm so glad to be a part of the show. I'm glad you're here with me, and I look forward to many, many seasons to come. I think there's a bright future for the Dengos, and I think this is just the beginning. I'm very excited for what's to come, especially next season. So before we head out, let's jump into the comment section. Wow, there's been a lot in the last little bit. So Carl Witzman writes down ideas to borrow. Take them, use them, go do your show. And Brian says, you think Carl and I need our own show to do heckling? Have you not been reading the comments tonight? I have. That's why I'm saying go do this. Like
somewhere
this.
Else.
Exactly. No, continue to do this. You know what I mean. Carl agrees. And Rick Bradley says, good evening, all. And Carl Witzman says, hello, Rick. Rick says, how's it going? Has Brian been mean to Chad much?
Yep.
Been
pretty light
Rick
this show.
says, Carl. Yeah, this
Carl.
Carl. BKM says, hey, Rick, great new show last night. Yes, go check out Rick and his son are doing an awesome show about gaming. Go check it out. Rick, if you could post a comment in there, and I will make sure that it goes through of where we can watch the show. Carl Witzman then says, oh yeah, we had to get out the fire extinguishers. Donna says, hey there, Rick. And BKM says, I get off at 6 p.m. Must not comment. Must not. Oh, thanks, Brian, says Rick. Ted Davies says, I enjoy the broadcasting of several shows a week. But drinking with the Davies is easier with my lovely wife and, of course, alcohol. So just saying. And I love that show. Please don't ever stop doing that show. Carl says, no wonder Damien is so calm during the show.
Now that I've shaved.
Yeah, and Brian laughs at Carl and says, I would too if winky face. BKM says, show prep, is that a thing? If so, I quit. It's only a thing for rookies. You're a pro, so you don't need it. Rick says, I know I'll be prepping for my show. Got to research about Nintendo. Oh, the humanity. Oh, you shut up. Donna says 12 watching and only 3. Oh gosh, only 8 likes. You 4 know who you are. Get your like on there or perish. Because I'm pretty sure Donna will show up at your door, or even better, at the edge of your bed with a sledgehammer, and it'll be great for us.
You know, that's
Carl
one
says,
movie I haven't
Donna,
seen.
I was busy heckling.
I need to see.
You've never seen Misery?
No.
Oh, you got to watch it.
It's one
awful.
that's just kind of slipped by.
That's some cockadoodie. That's some cockadoodie stuff there.
Oh, I can't handle it. Donna is shocked at Carl. Yeah, right. Sarah says, I love you guys. We love you too, madam. Donna says, need 3 more likes, people. Do it.
Do it.
And that's it. for this season 4 of the Dastardly Dingoes podcast. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for continuing to show up. We will be making some cool announcements over the summer. We might do a couple little special things here and there. Who knows what we're cooking up behind the scenes in the summer months. I also know we will probably be doing one of our side shows that we didn't really do a whole lot of during this season. It's called The Drawing Show. And I think we'll probably be popping up with a couple episodes of that throughout the summer. It's just behind the scenes of us drawing and laughing and goofing off and bringing on people from the comments section. So we'll more on that as we get closer into the summer. So thank you guys again. And Donna says, as a writer, I refuse to see Misery. I don't blame you. Not because it's bad. It's very, very good. It's just very disturbing. Carl says this was a good season ending episode. Thank you, Carl. Really appreciate that. BKM says the movie Misery makes my ankles hurt. Yes, and my soul. Donna says great show, guys. Thank you, Aunt Donna. I appreciate that. And with that, guys, we are out of here. Thank you so much again. And remember to hit like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Also hit that bell to get notified for when we have a new episode. And look at this. What are you doing?
She's drinking your drink.
Oh, no, she is. Get out of here.
Bring me your finest will, human.
As always, have fun, be safe, and have a fantastic Chad-free summer, everybody. And we love you. Good night.
The Nebulizer 2 now on Kickstarter.
I want to know what love is.